Your beta readers all flagged the same plot hole, and the problem traces back to chapter 3. A critique partner could have caught it in a single paragraph 40,000 words ago. This happens to authors because nobody explains what critique partners, alpha and beta readers, and editors are each actually for. If you have ever mixed these up, or you are eyeing your first editor and not even sure you need one yet, this is for you. I'm Allison, a developmental editor and the founder of Golden Editorial. Today, you will learn exactly which source of feedback you need, when, and what to ask for. Using these valuable feedback sources out of order is the most expensive mistake an unpublished author makes. So let's go. Critique partners. Let's start at the beginning of the process, because that is where most writers skip a step. A critique partner is a fellow writer, usually working on their own project, who reads your work in progress as you write and gives you craft level feedback. Keyword, writer. This is not your mom. It is not your book club. It is not a stranger on the internet. It is someone who understands story structure, pacing, character motivation, and prose, because they are wrestling with those same problems in their own manuscript. Critique partners usually work in exchange. You read their chapters, they read yours. That's the partner part. It's usually free, usually ongoing throughout the drafting, rather than just at the end, and usually done in small chunks. A chapter here, a chapter there, not the whole manuscript in one sitting. Here's what a good critique partner catches that almost nobody will. The stuff that is wrong while you are still writing it. Things like your protagonist's motivation does not track in chapter 4, or your pacing sags in the middle of act 2, or that subplot you introduced in chapter 6 doesn't get resolved at all. That's because they are reading in real time, and they can flag these things while you can still fix them easily before you've built 40,000 more words on top of the problem. This is the earliest and frankly most underused layer of feedback available to writers. And it's free, but a critique partner alone leaves a gap. And that gap is exactly what causes the problems most writers do not catch until they are too expensive to fix. Alpha readers. Before we get to beta readers, there is a step a lot of writers skip entirely, and it is the reason so many manuscripts reach the beta reader stage with a structural problem nobody caught yet. An alpha reader reads your complete first draft, not chapter by chapter as you write it. The whole thing, start to finish, in one read, often before you've even touched a single revision. Here's why that matters. Your critique partner has been reading in pieces, a chapter here, a chapter there, often months apart. They can tell you a scene is not working. What they usually cannot tell you is whether the entire arc holds together, because they've never experienced your whole book the way a reader actually will, front to back, in one sitting. An alpha reader can. They are your first real gut check on the whole story. Does the mystery you set up in chapter 3 actually pay off in chapter 30? Does the pacing hold across the whole book, not just scene by scene? Does the ending feel earned when someone reads straight through, instead of piecing it together over 8 months of chapter swaps? This is rough draft feedback, not polished feedback. Typos, clunky sentences, and imperfect words all get ignored on this read. What you want from an alpha reader is high-level feedback that can help guide you as you work through your self-editing. Then you can move on to beta readers. If there are glaring structural problems, you really should find out as early as possible, before you polish a single word. This saves you an enormous amount of time later. Beta readers. Once your manuscript is complete and you've gone through self-editing to make it as good as you can make it on your own, that is when beta readers come in, not before. This is where people get the order wrong. A beta reader is a reader of your genre who reads your finished manuscript and reacts to it the way your actual audience will. They are not analyzing your prose line by line. They are telling you where they got bored, where they were confused, where they stopped believing a character, and whether the ending actually landed. This is reader experience feedback, not craft feedback, and that distinction matters more than people realize. A critique partner might tell you a scene has weak pacing. A beta reader will just tell you they skimmed it. Both are valuable, and they're answering the same question in two different languages. One diagnoses the mechanics of your writing, the other tells you the actual emotional experience of reading your book cover to cover. Good beta readers read in your genre for fun, and often. A beta reader who reads only literary fiction might genuinely dislike a fast-paced thriller for reasons that have nothing to do with whether it is a good thriller. You want people who read the genre of your book, so their reactions actually mean something. You typically want somewhere between 3 and 8 beta readers, and you want the manuscript to feel finished when they get it. If it is full of typos and unfinished scenes, you will not get a clean signal on your story. You will get people distracted by everything else. This is your first real read on how an actual audience responds to the finished thing, and and that is valuable whether you are heading toward querying agents or self-publishing. Now we get to editors, and this is where the confusion really compounds because editor is not just one thing. It is several different jobs that happen in a specific order, and each one is looking for something completely different. Developmental editing comes first, and it happens at the structural level. Story, character arcs, pacing across the whole manuscript, plot holes, whether your themes actually land. A developmental editor reads with the same lens as the 3 feedback sources we just talked about. That means we are looking at story, character, and structure, but with professional training and a depth none of those can offer. You get a full editorial memo, often with inline notes, addressing the big picture architecture of your book. This is not a light pass. It can mean real revision. Line editing comes next, once the structure is solid. This is about how your sentences work at the craft level. Voice, rhythm, clarity, whether your prose style is doing what you want it to do, scene by scene. It is more granular than developmental editing, but still fundamentally about craft, not correctness. Copy editing is next, and this is where we start looking at consistency and correctness. Grammar, continuity, timeline, whether your character's eyes were blue in chapter 2 and green in chapter 20. Precise technical work. Proofreading is the final pass before publication. Typos, formatting, the last layer of polish. It happens after everything else on a manuscript that has already been through developmental, line, and copy edits, never as a substitute for any of them. Here's the mistake I see constantly. A writer hires a proofreader ready to publish when what they actually need is to start with a developmental edit. Or they book a copy editor when they really need a pass focused on word choice. It is most common with first-time authors who simply do not know what a huge difference these steps make. Matching the right kind of editor to the right stage of your manuscript is not a minor detail. It is the difference between spending your budget wisely and spending it on the wrong problem entirely. So here is the realistic path, start to finish. You draft with a critique partner, giving you real-time feedback as you go. Once the manuscript is complete in its rough, unrevised form, it goes to an alpha reader who tells you whether the whole story holds together cover to cover. Once you've revised based on their feedback and your own vision, it goes to beta readers who tell you how it lands as a finished reading experience. Then it goes to your developmental editor. Follow this path and you are paying a professional to refine a manuscript that has already been through three layers of feedback. That saves you money, and it lets your editor spend their attention on the nuanced, hard to see yourself, genuinely story elevating craft instead of the low-hanging fruit you already cleared. Some of my authors prefer to send the manuscript to beta readers after the developmental edit, and I'm fine with that. Often it's my seasoned authors who start with the developmental edit and use their beta readers as a true final market check before line editing. After your developmental edits are in, line editing sharpens the prose. Copy editing catches consistency and correctness, and proofreading is the final polish before it goes out into the world, whether that is to agents or to your own readers. So here are the 3 things to hold on to. 1, the free layers come before the paid ones. 2, critique partners help you craft while you draft. Your alpha reader informs your self-editing, and beta readers tell you how your story lands for a real reader. And 3, your time with a professional editor follows a sequence: developmental, line, copy, proofread. Matching the right one to your stage is where you either save your budget or waste it. That's how you build a manuscript that's actually ready, 1 layer at a time in the right order. If you've made it this far, you're clearly serious about doing this right, which means you're exactly who I'm making these videos for. I'm posting a new video every single week on the actual unglamorous mechanics of writing and editing. No fluff, no, just believe in yourself, the real process. So if this helped you untangle something you've been confused about, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and turn on notifications if you don't want it getting buried in your feed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.